The Grumman Albatross is not just an aircraft. It is a symbol of freedom, resilience, and exploration, perfectly matching the adventurous spirit of Jimmy Buffett. Originally designed as a military amphibious search and rescue aircraft, this Warbird carries with it decades of history tied to daring missions over open seas. Buffett's version of the Albatross became legendary not only because of its rarity, but because he actually flew it across vast tropical regions, blending aviation passion with his laid-back island lifestyle. What makes the Albatross particularly insane is its amphibious capability, allowing it to land both on water and conventional runways. This feature alone transforms the aircraft into something almost mythical, capable of reaching remote islands where few planes dare to go. For Buffett, whose music and lifestyle revolve around escapism and ocean horizons, this aircraft was more than a possession. It was an extension of his identity. The aircraft's rugged radial engines and high-wing design give it a commanding presence in the sky. Unlike modern sleek jets, the Albatross feels alive, vibrating with mechanical energy and roaring with personality. Pilots often describe flying it as a visceral experience, one that connects them directly to aviation's golden age, something Buffett deeply appreciated. Inside the cockpit, the Albatross retains much of its vintage military charm, with analog gauges, heavy controls, and a layout that demands skill and respect. This is not an aircraft for casual flyers. It requires dedication, knowledge, and a genuine love for flying, qualities that Buffett embraced wholeheartedly. Buffett's Albatross gained even more notoriety after surviving a dramatic incident in Jamaica where it was damaged by gunfire, rather than ending its story. The event only added to its legend, turning the plane into a symbol of survival and resilience. It's the kind of real-life story that feels almost too cinematic to be true. The restoration and maintenance of such an aircraft are monumental tasks. Keeping a vintage warbird like the Albatross airworthy involves sourcing rare parts, relying on specialized mechanics, and investing significant resources. Buffett didn't just own the plane. He committed to preserving a piece of history. Flying over turquoise waters and remote islands, the Albatross allowed Buffett to experience the world in a way few people ever could. It wasn't about speed or luxury. It was about the journey, the view, and the connection between pilot and machine. The aircraft also became a symbol among aviation enthusiasts, representing the ultimate dream of combining passion, wealth, and adventure. Seeing Buffett pilot such a rare warbird inspired countless fans to look at aviation not just as transportation, but as a lifestyle. Despite its size and power, the Albatross has a certain elegance when in flight, gliding smoothly over water before touching down with precision. It's a reminder that even military machines can possess beauty when placed in the right hands. In the end, the Grumman Albatross stands as one of the most insane vintage warboats, not because of raw firepower, but because of the life it lived under Buffett's ownership, a life filled with music, risk, and endless horizons. The Boeing Stearman stands as one of the most recognizable and beloved training aircraft in aviation history, a machine that played a crucial role in preparing thousands of pilots during World War II. Its significance goes far beyond its technical specifications, as it represents the very foundation of military aviation training in the United States. For Jimmy Buffett, owning such an aircraft was not just about collecting something rare, but about preserving a living piece of history that still carries the spirit of a defining global era. Unlike modern aircraft filled with digital systems and automation, the Stearman is a raw, mechanical experience that demands full engagement from the pilot. Sitting in its open cockpit, exposed to wind and weather, transforms every flight into something visceral and unforgettable. There is no separation between the pilot and the sky. Every movement, every vibration, and every sound becomes part of the experience, making flying feel less like operating a machine and more like becoming part of it. The aircraft's iconic biplane configuration, with its stacked wings and sturdy frame, is not just visually striking, but also deeply functional. This design provided the stability needed for beginner pilots during training, allowing them to make mistakes and recover safely. That forgiving nature is one of the reasons the Stearman became such a successful trainer, shaping the early flying experiences of an entire generation of aviators. Its radial engine, mounted proudly at the front, produces a deep, unmistakable roar that defines the aircraft's personality. Unlike the smoother hum of modern engines, the Stearman's power plant feels alive, pulsing with energy and history. That sound alone is enough to turn heads on the ground and stir something emotional in anyone who hears it, connecting them instantly to aviation's golden age. Flying a Stearman is an exercise in discipline and awareness. Without advanced navigation systems or fly-by-wire controls, pilots must rely entirely on their training, instincts, and understanding of aerodynamics. Every takeoff and landing becomes a carefully managed sequence of actions, requiring precision and confidence that cannot be faked. This is part of what makes the aircraft so respected among aviators. It demands skill and rewards mastery. For Buffett, whose lifestyle celebrated freedom and exploration, the Stearman offered a completely different kind of adventure compared to larger, more capable aircraft. It wasn't about traveling long distances or reaching remote destinations. It was about the purity of flight itself. Taking off in a Stearman is about enjoying the journey moment by moment, embracing the wind, the noise, and the simplicity of being airborne. The aircraft's role during World War II added an emotional depth that few other planes can match. Every Stearman carries with it the legacy of young pilots who once trained in similar cockpits, preparing for missions that would shape history. Flying one today is, in a way, a tribute to those individuals in the era they lived in, keeping their stories alive through motion and sound. Maintaining a vintage aircraft like the Stearman requires dedication and respect for traditional craftsmanship. Its construction includes fabric-covered wings and components that must be carefully inspected and preserved. Unlike modern materials, these elements demand hands-on attention and specialized knowledge, turning maintenance into an art form as much as a technical task. There is also a strong sense of community surrounding aircraft like the Stearman. Owners, pilots, and enthusiasts often gather at air shows and aviation events, sharing stories, knowledge, and a mutual appreciation for these timeless machines. Buffett's ownership of such an aircraft placed him within this passionate community, connecting him with people who share a deep love for aviation history. Visually, the Stearman is nothing short of stunning. Its bold colors, classic lines, and unmistakable silhouette make a favorite among photographers and spectators alike. Watching a taxi, take off, or perform gentle maneuvers in the sky feels like witnessing a living museum piece in motion, something that bridges the past and present in a way few machines can. Despite its age, the Stearman continues to inspire new generations of pilots and aviation enthusiasts. It serves as a reminder that the essence of flying has not changed, even as technology has advanced. The fundamentals, lift, control, and the relationship between pilot and aircraft remain the same, and the Stearman embodies those principles in their purest form. There is also a meditative quality to flying such a simple aircraft. Without the distractions of modern instrumentation, pilots often find themselves more connected to the environment, noticing subtle changes in wind, light, and movement. This heightened awareness transforms each flight into a deeply personal experience, one that resonates long after landing. Buffett's appreciation for experiences over possessions is reflected perfectly in the Stearman. While it may not be the fastest or most advanced aircraft in his collection, it offers something far more valuable: authenticity. It captures a feeling of early aviation in a way that no modern aircraft can replicate, making every flight a step back in time. The aircraft's forgiving nature, combined with its demanding operation, creates a unique balance that appeals to both seasoned pilots and those seeking to understand the roots of aviation. It teaches patience, respect, and a deeper appreciation for the art of flying, qualities that resonate with Buffett's broader philosophy of life. In the end, the Boeing Stearman is far more than just a vintage warbird. It is a symbol of where aviation began for countless pilots, a machine that continues to tell stories every time it leaves the ground. Under Buffett's ownership, it becomes part of a larger narrative, one that blends history, passion, and the timeless allure of the open sky into something truly unforgettable.